Alright, so we've got some more Diddy updates today. Now, since it's the weekend, there's no trial happening, but the trial will resume on Monday. When it does, we'll continue to hear testimony from Dawn Richard, one of the members of Danity Kane, who so far has testified that she was a witness to the abuse Cassie suffered at the hands of Diddy. She even told the court yesterday that after one of these episodes where Diddy was abusing Cassie, Cassie told her they shouldn't talk about it because that's how people end up going missing. Anyway, her testimony will continue next week, and it's expected to be very compelling. But in the meantime, I want to talk about some things happening outside the courtroom. The first thing I want to mention is the people who have been seen standing in front of the courthouse wearing Free Diddy t-shirts. Apparently, these people are being paid to wear these shirts and promote Diddy Coin, which is a cryptocurrency that Diddy's sons launched right in the middle of this trial. These people are reportedly being paid $20 an hour to wear the shirts and are also trying to recruit others to do the same. A content creator named Emily Knows Everything was outside the courthouse and caught a clip of this. In the video, the person recording spoke to someone outside who actually declined the offer and claimed that this was all to promote Diddy's new cryptocurrency. So this is where we're getting this information from. It looks like Diddy, or Diddy's team, or Diddy's sons are officially out here using paid actors to try to change the narrative that Diddy should be locked up. Take a look at the clip. So these are all paid protesters. You can get $20 an hour if you wear a t-shirt. One person just got recruited right there, but she said no, it wasn't worth the $20. She was told it was for a coin, but she didn't really know what that was. They just tried to pay $20 to wear a free Diddy shirt. The lady kept convincing her to wear the shirt, but she declined. So just $20, and if you need the money, all you have to do is wear a free t-shirt. She said no, and apparently someone else got paid $60 yesterday for standing out there for 3 hours. Absolutely baffling behavior, if I must say so myself. But I also need to add, I don't think Diddy is the one doing this directly. I think it's probably Diddy's sons or someone on Diddy's team hiring an organization to make this happen. Either way, it's pretty ridiculous because I highly doubt this is going to shape the jury's mindset or influence the outcome of the trial. But, I mean, A for effort, they're trying. Moving right along, it's also been announced that Cassie's mother is expected to testify during Diddy's trial at some point. Some people are saying it could be as soon as next week, but it really depends on how the questioning of all the other witnesses goes. We still have to hear everything from Dawn Richard, but Cassie's mom is set to take the stand and testify against Diddy. Last week we heard Cassie say that at some point, Diddy actually went to Cassie's mother's house to have conversations with her after Cassie told her mom about the abuse she was suffering. She didn't say what their conversation was about. In fact, she said she wasn't there for all of the conversations. So there are some conversations between Diddy and Cassie's mom that we don't know the context of. I expect that when Cassie's mother gets on the stand, she'll probably divulge the details of their conversations and describe the way Diddy was acting, especially if he was trying to intimidate her. That will probably end up being some pretty strong testimony coming from Cassie's mom. Some people are saying Cassie's mom could testify as soon as next week, but her cross-examination may not go so well either, because Diddy's defense can easily bring up things like the fact that Cassie's mother allowed her to date Ryan Leslie when Cassie was much younger. I think Ryan Leslie was 10 years older than her at the time. They may very well bring that up, but either way, it'll be interesting testimony. But Cassie's mom isn't the only witness who's been announced. We're also going to see James Cruz testify. Remember, Diddy is facing RICO charges, which means he used his organization to facilitate, prepare, and conduct all of this behavior he's been charged with. James Cruz is a high-ranking executive at Bad Boy Records and also served as Cassie's manager during her time with the label. Remember, Cassie said that at one point she was talking with James, and he told her he felt like he was doing his job with one hand tied behind his back because everything related to Cassie had to go through Diddy first. That kind of implies Diddy maintained ultimate control over Cassie's career decisions. His testimony can shed light on the dynamics within Bad Boy Records and how Diddy's control may have impacted the careers of artists like Cassie under his label, or how his treatment of her differed from other artists on his labels. James was an integral part of Diddy's operation, and since Diddy is charged with RICO, it's pretty much assumed that James must have been given some type of immunity deal so that whatever he says can't be used against him in exchange for him basically testifying against Diddy. So we can look forward to seeing that. Also, I want to mention that it does kind of feel like Diddy has been working his way toward fighting for a mistrial in this case. They tried to keep Cassie up on that stand as long as possible, knowing that she is very pregnant. Diddy's team, in my opinion, has not done the best job combating what the prosecution has done. His defense team has done a decent job painting him as human and showing that Cassie may have been complicit in some of the activities, but they have focused heavily on a lot of the things that were in the civil lawsuit Cassie filed against Diddy, and not so much on the things the prosecution was grilling her about. Remember, all the prosecution is trying to do is prove that Diddy paid for escorts, which Cassie gave testimony about and confirmed that he did. That's his transportation to engage in prostitution charge. They have asked her about her not being willing to participate in some of these encounters with Diddy, which she has pretty much confirmed. And while, like I said, his defense has done a good job showing that she was complicit in some of the activity, they only need her to not be willing to do it one time for Diddy to be guilty of the charge of sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. The whole racketeering thing hasn't really been hit on yet. But like I said, we've got some witnesses coming in, probably next week or the week after, that are probably going to tie that racketeering thing together pretty well. His defense team just hasn't done a very good job at dispelling the things he's charged with, and to be honest, they may get their opportunity to file for a mistrial. According to some tweets from Inner City Press, the judge has been having behind-closed-doors meetings with the lawyers in this case, some of the time without a court reporter. There's this one instance where the judge said, "So that's it? I'll have a word in the robbing room with Miss Comey and Mr. Agnifilo. I don't need a court reporter." And like BJ Investigates said, Judge Subramanian in the Diddy trial is doing a lot of sneaky backroom talks. I think he's treading a dangerous line of unconstitutionality and putting the case at risk for a mistrial. Trials are public for a reason. Hope he gets the memo soon. She was spitting facts right there. She also added that these super sneaky, secret meetings and off-the-docket filings are becoming the norm in the Diddy trial. Like I said, I feel like she's right. The judge is opening the door for Diddy to call into question what's happening in these closed-door meetings, and I do assume at some point they may file for a mistrial because of things like this. Now, whether or not a mistrial will be granted, there's really no way to know. But if they end up filing for a mistrial because of this type of behavior, that would be very interesting. Whether it happens or not is up in the air, but I am starting to see the speculation circle around online. And then there's this woman named Carrie Morgan, who is said to testify against Diddy. Morgan is a former friend of Cassie and is expected to testify about an incident in which Diddy allegedly assaulted her by striking her with a wooden hanger that caused a concussion. Cassie has claimed that this resulted in a $50,000 settlement by Diddy in an attempt to silence Carrie Morgan. Apparently, this $50,000 is what led to Cassie and Carrie not being friends anymore. So we're going to get to see her take the stand and tell us about whatever it is that she went through and saw. Then there's this woman, Mia, who chose to stay anonymous throughout this trial and go under the pseudonym of Mia. She is supposed to be taking the stand soon. Now, nobody really knows who Mia is, but in an article posted by The Sun, they identified her as Diddy's former personal assistant, which has led a lot of people to believe this is a woman named Capricorn Clark. I can't confirm myself if Mia is Capricorn Clark, but The Sun said it was his former personal assistant, and Capricorn is his former personal assistant, so it makes sense. Capricorn Clark was referenced during this trial in the context of a 2011 incident that involved Diddy, Cassie, and Kid Cudi, where Cassie said that Diddy discovered her and Cudi's relationship, became enraged, and threatened her. She sent an email to both her mother and Capricorn Clark, expressing fear that Diddy was going to release freak-off tapes as a form of retaliation. So if Mia turns out to be Capricorn Clark, there will be some very interesting testimony, because she was his right hand for a long time. I guess he could have had more than one personal assistant, but if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck, right? So you've got people saying Mia is Capricorn, but we'll just have to wait and see if that's true. We've got this Mia woman, she's going to give testimony. And if Mia is indeed Capricorn Clark, then some of her testimony may also help tie together some of the RICO charges that the federal government has put against Diddy. Apparently, this Mia woman was also forced by Diddy to participate in sexual acts at some point in time. So it'll be her testimony plus Cassie's testimony saying that he forced and coerced them. We'll just have to wait and see what all of that looks like once she gets on the stand. With that, that's what we've got for this video. It's just a quick update for you guys. Of course, let me know what you think about all this in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you aren't subscribed.